Hey guys, Brian delivered you the goods here. I'm returning to you tonight for this next Iron Maiden album review. So we are on the last three albums that I'm going to be doing, which this is one of the three of the last few albums that I'm reviewing for you guys for the Final Frontier, the 15th studio album by Iron Maiden that I got a chance to listen to for myself, see what I was going to think of this 76-minute album. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for the 10 tracks on this 76-minute record and let you know my thoughts on the Final Frontier overall. So let's dive into this album review tonight. So it starts with Satellite 15 dash dash dash, the Final Frontier. It has three dashes or whatever, and like kind of part of the song. It's like Satellite 15 slash the Final Frontier, so it's two songs in one. The opening track is pretty good. I like the Satellite 15 section more than the Final Frontier part. That one was an alright song, but it was one of my least favorites. But other than that, I think Satellite 15 was a 5 out of 5 worthy, and Final Frontier was a 4.75 out of 5 worthy. So the entirety of the track is going to get a 4.75 out of 5. It's just the way Bruce Dickinson is singing it in the Final Frontier section that was a little hit or miss. But everything else about it for Satellite 15 was very strong. Very strong intro to the record. Then we get to El Dorado. This one was above decent. Nothing special that I was crazy about. But I think it did alright for how it sounded. There were some moments I could get on board with the verses, but it's just the way when the chorus comes in, it's not really a strong chorus, if I'm being honest. Just the way Bruce Dickinson's singing it, it's a little underwhelming at times with his vocals. And I know that he's straining a little more with his vocals because of his age and all that, and because he's getting older and he can't really hit the notes that he used to hit. But overall, he still does a solid job for the most part with his vocals. But with this song, El Dorado, it's a 4.25 out of 5. A little bit of a least favorite, but not the worst song on the record. Mother of Mercy kind of gets a little repetitious with the chorus, singing Mother of Mercy. It got a little annoying. But other than that, the song was decent. Nothing that I was crazy about. But alright for how it sounds, so 4 out of 5. Bruce Dickinson's singing potential does get a little underwhelming in this song, but it's alright for the most part. So 4 out of 5 for Mother of Mercy. Coming Home is another 4.25 out of 5. I think this track did have some good moments and some slightly weak moments that killed a little bit of the reception of the track. But it's the way this guitar work and drum work sounds. It's pretty strong in this track. But Bruce Dickinson's vocals kind of have its slight hiccups from time to time. As you go through the track, you notice there's some execution points that didn't execute very well. And like maybe the chorus, I would say, that was a little bit lacklusting. But other than that, 4.25 out of 5. The Alchemist is a good song. I was a little more impressed with this track, so 4.5 out of 5. It's another song I could probably get on board with the record. Probably a slight favorite of mine, but overall good in its own way. 4.5 out of 5. Bruce Dickinson's vocals do work for this track. And execution-wise, I'm just not sure how I feel about the new Iron Maiden. Like the latest Iron Maiden as of today. It just depends. The old Iron Maiden is classic. The new Iron Maiden is pretty solid too, but they do have their albums where you're going to find your hits and misses with some material of theirs. But other than that, The Alchemist is a good track, 4.5 out of 5. Isle of Avalon is another good song. It was pretty lengthy, like 9 minutes and 7 seconds. But overall, good track. I enjoyed the drum work, guitar work, and Bruce Dickinson's vocals shined from time to time in this track. There were a few hiccups with some of his vocal potential from time to time, but it doesn't squander too much. It just makes it tolerable enough to listen through. So 4.5 out of 5. Star Blind is another one that I thought was repetitious when the chorus came in. It relied on the lyric Star Blind a little too much going into that. And it just, I don't know, this one was a little bit of a snooze fest to get through. So for 7 minutes and 49 seconds, you're in for something that's not that entertaining, but a decent type of entertainment. So 4 out of 5. The Talisman is another decent track for another 9 minutes and 4 seconds. It's tolerable, but just decent at best. Bruce Dickinson's vocals do sound a bit whiny from time to time in this track. And it just, I don't know, it just feels disjointed, this track, with how it's sounding overall. And it's just not executing very well. 4 out of 5. The Man Who Would Be King is a least favorite for sure. This track did not work that well. It's not terrible, but it's mediocre at best. I think this track does rely on the chorus way too much. And the chorus is not really that memorable, honestly. It's kind of a snooze fest, this track. So 3.75 out of 5. This track could have been something interesting, but the chorus felt so prolonging, and it just didn't go anywhere that much. I'm not saying I hate this track. I think the instrumentation's great. Bruce Dickinson's vocals do shine in the verses. But when the chorus comes in, it shines well with his vocals. But it's just such a prolonging chorus that is like, okay, when are you going to mention the Man Who Would Be King? But that's not till the end of the track. Keep in mind, is when he mentions the Man Who Would Be King lyric and all that. But other than that, 3.75 out of 5. When the Wild Wind Blows is an 11-minute and 1 second track. That is pretty long. But it's not terrible, it's just mediocre. I think most of it sounded alright, but I think when it started picking up in like with the drumming and guitar work, it did a lot better as it went fast paced. But other than that, if I were to give it a score, it's like a 3.75 out of 5 for this one. There were some melodic moments in this track that I don't think executed too well, but did alright. It's a serviceable enough track to get you through the closing moment of the record, but it's not one of the best highlights of this record. 3.75 out of 5. You also have Bruce Dickinson's vocals that do carry a tune from time to time. It does carry a tune, but it just, I don't know, it still sounds a little whiny with his vocal potential. But I know that's because he's can't hit the range that he used to when he was younger, back in the 80s and 90s. But overall, I think When the Wild Wind Blows, 3.75 out of 5. Overall, production, mixing, and execution-wise, would I say The Final Frontier is better than A Matter of Life and Death? Not really. It's a little weaker. It's an okay record, The Final Frontier, but it's not one of my favorite Iron Maiden albums, for sure. I was really trying to find some songs I could definitely get on board with. Like Satellite 15 and Final Frontier is a favorite. And you have The Alchemist and Isle of Avalon that are my favorites. Everything else feels so disjointed, so dull, and just not really going anywhere. It's not a terrible album, but it's not their best record. just gonna say it flat out. This album's okay for how it sounds execution-wise. And if I were to give The Final Frontier its deserved score by Iron Maiden, I'm feeling a 6.5 out of 10. Okay, listen, not something I'm gonna be returning to that much. But for a 2010 album, then their 15th studio album, it's not really memorable. But it's an okay listen. I mean, there's some tracks I could probably come back to, like the first track, which is a 2-track all-in-one song, which is 8 minutes and 41 seconds. For Satellite 15, The Final Frontier, Isle of Avalon, and The Alchemist. Those are the only 3 songs I could come back to. Everything else is just decent, above decent to mediocre. It's not a favorite, per se, but it's alright. So, 6.5 out of 10 for Iron Maiden, The Final Frontier. I hope you guys enjoyed this album review tonight for Iron Maiden, The Final Frontier, and thank you guys for watching.